My beloved child, I know the quiet ache you carry when it feels like you have been overlooked, when your efforts go unnoticed, when your prayers seem to echo without reply. And I want you to hear me clearly now, because even in the moments you feel invisible, you are fully seen by me, known more deeply than you can imagine, and loved more steadily than any human heart could love you. I see you when others pass by without understanding your struggles, when they do not recognize the weight you carry or the sacrifices you make in silence. And I see you when you smile on the outside while your heart feels tired on the inside, because nothing about you is hidden from my sight. You may feel forgotten because people have moved on, promises were broken, or recognition never came the way you hoped. And that pain can settle deep in your soul, whispering lies that you do not matter as much as others, that your presence is replaceable, that your story is insignificant. But those whispers are not truth, and they do not come from me, because I formed you with intention, called you by name, and placed you exactly where you are for a reason that still unfolds. There are seasons when life grows quiet, when affirmation fades, when support feels distant. And in those seasons, it is easy to believe you have been left behind. Yet I tell you gently that quiet does not mean abandonment, and silence does not mean absence. For I often work most closely when things feel still, shaping hearts, strengthening faith, and drawing my children into deeper trust. My child, I know how much you long to be remembered, to feel chosen, to know that your life makes a difference. And I want you to understand this truth deeply. You have never been an afterthought to me, not once, not for a moment. And before you ever felt unseen by the world, I had already seen every step of your journey, every tear you would cry, every battle you would fight, and every victory you would one day celebrate. When others forget, I remember. When others overlook, I attend closely. And when others fail to show care, my care does not waver, because my love is not based on performance, popularity, or productivity, but on who you are as my beloved. You may look around and wonder why others seem to be chosen, promoted, noticed, or blessed while you remain in the background. And comparison can make the feeling of being forgotten even heavier. Yet I ask you not to measure your worth by visibility, because some of my most important work happens away from attention, where hearts are refined and character is shaped, preparing you for what cannot be rushed. I am not delaying you because you are unimportant. I am preparing you because you are valuable, and what I have planned for you requires depth, humility, and trust that can only be built in seasons where applause is absent. My child, when you feel forgotten, remember that I have written your name on my heart, that I count every step you take, and that there is no day of your life that has slipped past me unnoticed, not the joyful ones and not the painful ones, and especially not the lonely ones. I see the way you keep going even when motivation fades, the way you choose kindness even when you feel empty, the way you hold on to faith even when doubts arise. And those quiet acts matter more than you know, because I honor faithfulness even when no one else applauds it. You are not invisible to me, you are not forgotten by me, and you are not standing still while others move ahead, because even now I am positioning you, aligning moments, and preparing connections that will come together at the right time, not to impress others, but to fulfill the purpose I placed within you. So when the feeling of being unseen tries to settle in your heart, pause and listen for my voice reminding you that I am near, that I am attentive, and that your life carries meaning beyond what you can see today. And this season, though quiet, is not empty, because I am with you, walking beside you, watching over you, and loving you with a love that never forgets, never overlooks, and never lets go. My beloved child, I know how long the waiting is felt, how the days blur together when nothing seems to change, how you wonder if anyone remembers the promises you once carried so carefully in your heart. And I speak to you now so you will know this truth clearly. I remember you, even in the waiting, especially in the waiting, and not one moment of your patience has been wasted or overlooked by me. You may feel unnoticed because your life has not moved forward the way you expected, because progress appears slow, because the recognition you hoped for never arrived, and it can feel as though time itself has passed you by. Yet I tell you gently that time in my hands is never empty, and waiting with me is never pointless. There are seasons when I allow stillness, not to ignore you, but to protect you, to shape you, and to prepare you for what is coming. Because what arrives too early can wound rather than bless, and what is rushed can burden rather than strengthen. I see how you question yourself in this season, wondering if you did something wrong, if you lacked faith, if you misunderstood my guidance, and I want you to release that self-blame, because this pause is not punishment, it is preparation, and you are not stalled, you are being rooted more deeply in trust. My child, when you feel unnoticed, it is easy to believe that your efforts no longer matter, that small acts of faithfulness are insignificant, that quiet obedience goes unseen. But I see every time you choose integrity when shortcuts would be easier, every time you choose patience when frustration rises, every time you choose hope when discouragement presses in. And these choices are shaping you into someone who can carry what is ahead without losing peace. You may not realize it yet, but the strength you are gaining now will one day support blessings that would have overwhelmed you before, and the humility you are learning now will keep your heart steady when attention eventually comes. I know you sometimes feel as if others have forgotten your story, as if your voice has faded into the background, yet I remind you that your story is still unfolding, and the chapters that seem quiet are often the ones that make the later chapters meaningful, because depth is formed long before visibility arrives. There are things I am aligning that you cannot see, moments that must come together in the right order, people whose lives will intersect with yours at the perfect time, and if any piece were moved too soon, the harmony would be lost, and I care too much about you to allow that. My child, I remember promises spoken over your life that you may have stopped believing in, dreams you laid aside because waiting hurt too much, hopes you tried to quiet so disappointment would not sting again. And I have not forgotten any of them, not a single one, because my memory is faithful and my plans are sure. Even now, as you feel unnoticed, I am watching closely, guarding your heart and strengthening your spirit, so that when the season changes, you will be ready to step forward without fear or bitterness. Waiting has a way of revealing what truly anchors your soul, and I know it has tested you, yet it has also refined you, teaching you to lean on me rather than outcomes, to trust me rather than timing, and this trust will carry you farther than you can imagine. When the feeling of being forgotten grows heavy, return to this truth: I have not overlooked you, I have not misplaced you, and I have not delayed you without purpose, because your life is not an accident moving through random seasons. It is a story guided by my wisdom and my care. Rest your heart in this moment. Breathe without rushing ahead, and know that I am remembering you with love, watching over you with intention, and preparing a future that will make sense of this waiting, even if today it still feels quiet and unseen. My beloved child, I know how heavy silence can feel, how loneliness can settle into your heart even when people are around you, how the absence of clear answers can make you wonder whether I am still near. And I speak to you now so you will understand this truth deeply. Silence has never meant distance between us, and feeling alone has never meant that you truly are, because I am closer to you in these quiet moments than you realize. There are seasons when my voice seems softer, when guidance does not arrive in dramatic ways, when prayers feel unanswered. And in those times, it is easy to believe that you have been left to walk by yourself, yet often it is in the silence that I am doing my most intimate work, drawing close to your heart, teaching you to recognize my presence not only in words, but in peace, endurance, and quiet strength. You are not alone because I have stepped away. You feel alone because this season is teaching you to rely on me more deeply than before, to sense me beyond what you can immediately hear or see. I know you miss reassurance, you miss clarity, you miss the feeling of being supported and understood, and I know how tempting it is to fill the silence with noise, distractions, or the approval of others, just to avoid the ache. But I gently invite you instead to sit with me here, to let the quiet become a place of connection rather than fear, because I am not absent in the stillness, I am present in it. My child, I see how loneliness has made you question your worth, how it is whispered that you are easy to forget, easy to overlook, and I want you to release those lies now, because your value has never depended on attention or affirmation, and your worth has never decreased because of silence, for I am with you whether the world is loud or quiet. There are lessons I am teaching you in this season that cannot be learned when everything is busy and full. Lessons about listening, about trusting without constant reassurance, about resting even when answers are delayed. And these lessons are strengthening your spirit in ways that will support you for the rest of your life. I know the nights feel longer, the questions feel heavier, and the sense of isolation feels sharper when no one seems to truly understand what you are carrying. Yet even then, I am there. Seeing the tears you do not share, hearing the prayers you cannot fully form, and holding you steady when emotions threaten to overwhelm you. You are not forgotten in the silence, you are being held in it, protected from voices that would confuse you, shielded from influences that would pull you away from the path meant for you, and drawn closer to me so that your faith grows deeper roots. My child, do not mistake quiet seasons for empty ones, because silence often creates space for healing, reflection, and renewal. Space where wounds can close, where expectations can soften, and where trust can grow without pressure. I know you sometimes wish I would speak more loudly, move more quickly, or change things more obviously, and I understand that desire, yet I ask you to trust that my pace is guided by love, not indifference, and that my quiet presence is just as powerful as my spoken word. When you feel alone, remember that I am not limited by human closeness, that my presence does not depend on physical signs or constant emotion, and that even when you feel numb or distant, I remain faithful and near. There will come a time when this silence makes sense, when you realize how it strengthened you, how it taught you to stand without leaning on applause, how it anchored you when life became louder again, and you will look back and see that you were never abandoned, only refined. My beloved, let the silence draw you closer rather than push you away. Let it teach you to listen with your heart, and let it remind you that I am not far off or distracted, but present, attentive, and deeply involved in your life even now. You do not need to prove anything in this season. You do not need to rush forward or escape the quiet, because I am with you here, shaping you gently, holding you securely, and preparing you for what comes next. And as long as you remain with me, you will never truly be alone, no matter how silent the path may feel. My beloved child, I know how deeply it hurts when you feel overlooked, when others are praised while your efforts remain unseen, when your name is not called, your work is not acknowledged, and your presence seems to fade into the background. And I want you to hear me clearly now, because being overlooked by people has never meant being overlooked by me. And being unseen by others has never meant being unchosen in my eyes. I see the quiet faithfulness you carry, the consistency you show when no one is watching, the sacrifices you make without applause, and these things matter deeply to me, even when the world fails to notice them. You may wonder why others are lifted while you remain where you are, why doors seem to open easily for some while yours remain closed. In comparison can make your heart heavy. Yet I remind you that my choosing is not based on visibility, popularity, or human approval, but on purpose, character, and the unique calling I have placed within you. I often choose my children long before others recognize their value, because I am more concerned with who you are becoming than with how quickly you are seen. There are seasons when I intentionally keep you hidden, not because you are insignificant, but because I am protecting you, refining you, and preparing you for responsibilities that require humility, strength, and wisdom. And these qualities are formed best away from constant attention. My child, do not let the feeling of being overlooked convince you that you are falling behind, because you are not in competition with anyone else's journey, and I have never measured your life against another's timeline. You are exactly where you need to be for the work I am doing in you right now. And even when others do not recognize your efforts, I do. And I honor faithfulness even when it feels thankless. I know how tempting it is to seek validation, to want reassurance that your life matters, that your work has value. And while encouragement from others is a gift, it is not the foundation of your worth, because your worth was established by me long before anyone formed an opinion about you. When you feel overlooked, remember that some of the most meaningful work happens quietly, unseen by crowds, but deeply impactful in ways that cannot be measured immediately. And I often entrust such work to those who are willing to serve without recognition. My child, I see how discouragement tries to settle in your heart, telling you that your efforts are pointless, that you should stop trying, that no one would notice if you walked away. But those thoughts do not reflect my truth, because your obedience, your kindness, your perseverance are shaping not only your own heart, but also the lives of others in ways you may never fully see. I am teaching you to draw confidence from me rather than from attention, to stand secure even when praise is absent, and this security will sustain you when responsibility increases and expectations grow. There will come a time when your faithfulness is recognized, when the work you have done quietly bears visible fruit, and when others begin to see what I have always known about you. But until then, trust that being unseen does not mean being unused. I am choosing you daily, guiding you intentionally, and shaping you lovingly, and no season of being overlooked can cancel the purpose I have placed on your life. Stay steady, remain faithful, and rest in this truth. Even when others overlook you, I have chosen you, I am with you, and I am preparing you for what lies ahead with care and purpose. My beloved child, as you reach this moment, I want you to pause and recognize the gentle truth settling in your heart. The realization that even in the seasons you felt forgotten, even in the days you felt unseen and overlooked, you were never abandoned, never ignored, and never left to walk alone. Because I have been with you in every step, every silence, every tear, and every quiet act of faith you carried when no one else noticed. I know how deeply the feeling of being forgotten can wound you, how it can make you question your value, your purpose, and even your place in this world. Yet I tell you now with certainty and love that you have never slipped from my sight, not for a single moment, and your life has always been held securely in my hands. You may not have felt my presence clearly at times, you may not have seen evidence of my work unfolding the way you expected, but my nearness has never depended on your feelings or circumstances, because I remain faithful even when your heart feels weary or uncertain. I have watched over you in the quiet seasons, strengthened you when you thought you were barely holding on, protected you from paths that would have caused deeper pain, and guided you gently even when you did not realize you were being led. My child, you are beginning to understand now that being unseen by people does not mean being unseen by me, and being forgotten by the world does not mean being forgotten by heaven, because my attention has never wavered, and my commitment to you does not weaken when the road grows quiet. You are not forgotten, you are not overlooked, and you are not standing still while others move ahead, because your journey is unfolding exactly as it should, guided by my wisdom and covered by my love. There are still chapters ahead that will surprise you, moments of connection, purpose, and fulfillment that will make sense of the waiting. And when those moments arrive, you will look back and see how closely I was walking with you, even when you felt alone. Until then, rest in this assurance. Walk forward with peace rather than striving, and trust that you are seen, known, and deeply loved by me every single day. If this message touched your heart and you want to continue walking with me through more moments like this, subscribe to this channel and stay close, because I will keep speaking life, hope, and peace into your journey.